Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. This is Phil Wong from Commonwealth Home Ownership, and today I'd like to talk a little bit about how I mitigate risks while showing my rental properties during COVID. So, COVID's here to stay, that's a fact. The vaccine might be around the corner, but who knows? So, in the meantime, what do I do to reduce the risk to myself, my tenants, the prospects while I'm showing a rental property? So, there's a few things. First of all, make sure your prospects are serious about viewing the property. Okay, so what I'd like to do is I'd like to send them a questionnaire to have them fill out to make sure they are serious about seeing the property. I use Google Forms, which is great, quick way to create a quick form to ask them a bunch of questions. How long you plan to rent for, why you're moving, etc. Uh, I can do a little video about what I do on the form later, but so I make sure they're serious. Secondly, I make sure they actually really need to see the property. So if they don't need to see the property, there's a lot of ways that you can get around that nowadays with technology. So one way, for my postings, for my rental postings, instead of just photos, I actually try to record a video now too if I can. So cell phones are great for recording videos nowadays. Might be a little bit shaky if I have this. What I like to do is I use this little device here called a DJI Osmo gimbal. So it has a little gyroscope built in to stabilize your phone when you're recording a video. So when you move it, your phone more or less smooths out the motion a lot. It makes a huge difference when it comes to making a video look professional when you're recording it. So instead of having your shaky hand, this looks super smooth, looks great. Secondly, you can always do a video walkthrough with your prospect. So use Zoom, use FaceTime, walk them through the property, as you talk to them, show them the property that way. Third, you can have someone come in to do a 3D walkthrough of your property. It's a little bit more expensive, but they come in with a three-dimensional camera. They take a whole bunch of photos, allows you to kind of do a virtual walkthrough of your house. I'm sure you've seen that before on MLS sites. And those are things I can do to show the property without being in contact with another person. If you have to show a property to prospect, which is it's hard to get around because a lot of people want to see the property they'll be living in, right? They just get a sense of the space. Super important. You can't really do that without being there in person. So they still like to show up. So first of all, ask your current residents if they have a need to leave the house, to leave the property. Minimize contact between all parties. Before you meet them at the property, make sure you ask the screening questions for COVID. Have you traveled outside Canada within the last 14 days? Have you been in contact with anyone who's traveled outside Canada in the last 14 days? Do you have a cough? Do you have a fever? Do you have a sore throat? Have you recently developed any trouble breathing? Have you been in contact with anyone with COVID in the last 14 days? If the answer is no to all those questions, go ahead and meet them at the property. What I like to do when I meet them is I also like to bring a box of disposable masks with me. Most people have masks nowadays, but you never know. So if they show up without a mask, you can always just give them a mask. Also bring hand sanitizer, give them a couple squirts of hand sanitizer. Also ask them to not touch anything if at all possible. Touch as little as possible. I bring rubber gloves with myself. So then I open the door. They need to open drawers, fridges, ovens, whatever it is. I try to do it for them if I can. That way I know that, they're minimizing contact. I know that my gloves are clean, so I'm not transferring disease to other surfaces. And that's really about it. Otherwise, doing showing is normal. I also space out my showings now a lot more than I usually do. Back in the day, I used to have people kind of, as one person's leaving, the other person's coming in, but I try to space it out so there's at least a bit of a 5-minute gap between parties now, just to make sure that I'm again minimizing contact and social distancing. And that's really about it. So, it's a different world out there now. So be conscientious of what you do when you're showing properties, social distancing. Make sure you have your PPE and stay safe out there, guys. I'll see you guys next time. And if you guys like my video, you know, hit the little subscribe button. Really appreciate it. Thanks, guys. See you next time.